what?
For the question, yes.
What question? I'm just joking with you. No. So, my thoughts on that is, when people get married, they should come down the aisle with baggage. Literal baggage with labels. Because that's really how we do come down the aisle. So that counseling will help to lighten. Look. The counseling will help to lighten the load. No, they really do. They don't see it. It's invisible baggage, but it becomes visible once you get married. So,
speaking for all men, the only baggage we see on the wedding day is the baggage of them cheeks. That's about it.
Anyway, whatever. Whatever. Anyway, so like I said, when a marriage, you change a little bit, it's all cute and everything. Everybody come, oh, she look good, all that stuff. But behind that train and up there in front of his altar is a whole bunch of baggage. So my thoughts are, I recommend getting counseling before you get married, because that hopefully you won't be going down there with 5-star luggage when you're going down the aisle. Hopefully that you have gotten rid of a lot of that baggage. And if there is still some baggage, hopefully it's just little cute little fanny packs.
Attaché player.
Yeah, little fanny packs or something. Not that you should do that either, but at least that will help you when you're trying to walk together. Because how can you walk together when there's tons of baggage between you? That's not really a way to.
Yeah.
It's crowded in the bedroom. It's crowded in every room. Yeah.
Everywhere.
So.
And when we use the term baggage, we're not talking about beings. We're not talking about, you coming into a marriage and you already had a child from a previous person.
No, children are blessings. Let's be clear.
Just to clarify.
No.
When we're talking about baggage, we're talking about anything that can detract from what you're building.
Right.
That's it. Whatever that means to you, you take it.
Anything that keeps you two from coming together.
Right. To
grow together, to produce together,
right.
Anything. And some couples, like if they're two ambitious people, they get together and they used to just like their focus is on one thing. They might not even hit the bump in the road where they see that baggage.
Yeah.
Because how like some people are tunnel vision, and until they actually get a chance to really be around each other and not so busy of doing their thing, they finally start seeing.
Yeah.
It highlights. You call it issues or baggage, or everyone call it, but it highlights what needs to grow, the areas that need to grow. So that's another thing too, like spending adequate amounts of time in your relationship and not just on the things that you love to do, which can be a hard thing to do sometimes.
And you have to keep it in balance too, because before you get married, there's certain responsibilities that you don't have, right. Because you haven't taken on that title. So certain things you obviously don't want to put yourself in a bad position on, without getting into the whole premarital sex thing.
Right.
In general, anything that would cause possible changes in the status of the relationship before marriage. Those things, because they're out of season, can definitely be considered baggage in some way, shape, or form, because it's tainting your viewpoint.
Right. Guess what?
What?
You know why I love you?
What?
A lot of reasons. No, but one thing I like about you, though. The one thing I like about you is that we can laugh.
Yeah.
I think that's so important to be with somebody that you can laugh with.
And push to
and
grow.
Have fun.
Push to grow too. I think, that's one of the things we both do well. Which kind of brings us to the next question. How difficult was it to transition from being a single person into being a married person?
You can go first.
You can be the hard one.
No, because I already went first the last time, so
All right,
I can't hog it all. Yeah.
I think in marriage, I think it's a very different responsibility. It's not like you wake up and all of a sudden, somebody hit a switch in you, right. Like it was with parenthood. There's that's a whole different ballpark. But I think that in being single, a lot of times people are focused only on what their needs are. And I think when you desire to, come together in a marital relationship, that one of the first things, maturing wise, that you really need to begin to develop is your desire to actually put the other person's desires before yours. A lot of times, I think most of our earlier arguments were like financial arguments. And
yeah, that's a whole nother episode.
That was like probably about 80-90% of our arguments.
Yeah, it's never a love issue or a like issue or unfaithful issue or anything of those natures. Yeah.
So, couples tip: don't let money break up your relationship.
Yeah, that's the number one, I think, for divorce, right?
Yeah, it is one of the primary reasons for divorce.
Which is why a lot of people go, "Oh, I want to get married until everything is settled." But let me give you a news flash.
Ain't nothing gonna be settled.
Pretty much.
Cancel that.
Yeah.
For the people that think you have to have a certain money or dollar amount in your bank account, it's never gonna happen.
Right. You're always gonna have problems. Either poor people problems or rich people problems. There's still gonna be some problems. I rather have rich people problems, but go ahead.
I got 3 bills between each of our children, and none of them were less than $30,000.
This is how you know when you're getting old. When every time you're always talking about your children. Anyway.
Well, they the biggest expense I've made aside from investing in the mortgage.
They're priceless.
That means that they continue to stack amounts up heavily.
Anyway, so back to the subject.
And
hit that subscribe button. Yeah.
I already asked the question. It's your turn. I answered. Married and single. How did you?
Oh yeah. How did you transition?
Yeah.
So for you might not have been able to switch like that, but actually I was ready to switch like that. I had told my mother before I got married I had saved money, and she was like, "Oh, this is great." She was like, "You're saving money." I was getting my ducks in a row, and I said, "Yeah." I said, because I'm not going to wait till I get married to be this wife that, the Proverbs 31 woman and all of that. I'm going to do it now. And so I really invested in myself as far as knowing how to manage money and do a whole bunch of things like that. So, and my parents, shout outs to them because they're the ones that invested in me in that way. And so when I got married, immediately I went, of that, as far as the Proverbs 31 woman being able to manage things in the household, and just, you can go read that on your own time. But I was ready to switch right into it because I knew that my roles had changed. I think the only thing that a lot of married couples, I guess, could take note on is you don't have to be like another married couple. A lot of people try to like fashion themselves after other couples that they see. Maybe you're in a household where your mom is doing everything, cooking, clean, everything for your dad or whatever. Maybe that's not your household. Maybe y'all two both share things and responsibility or whatever. I don't know. But one of the things I was really apt to do was, when I switched into the role from being single to married, was to let us define what our roles were going to look like as far as responsibilities wise. And I didn't want to be my parents or his parents or other people that I've seen. Yeah.
I agree with that. I think we all come into our relationships with preconceived notions about certain, gender specific roles. Shout out to Eric Brown and to Condra Brown.
Built to last. Hey.
Yes, indeed. Me and Eric were chatting a couple of days ago about roles in gender.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the things that we were kind of challenging each other was, the conventional way that a husband is perceived, or a conventional way that a wife is perceived. And it's like, in America, for whatever reason, there's this stigma of the wife or the husband being the provider and the wife being the homemaker. And I think, in this day and age, and Sean knows this, I didn't need her for homemaking in that regard. I can cook.
Well, cooking. You can, but
I can cook. But I cook what I like to eat.
But I prefer to cook.
She prefers to cook in marriage.
My kids do too, but go ahead. They'd be like, "Mommy, please.
Mommy, please, me.
Please." I'm like, "All right."
So I can cook. I can clean. I hate cleaning. I will clean if I need to, but I hate it. I can sew.
I love cleaning.
A lot of those things are not traditional men things. And so what I think, what our conversation with Eric and my conversation was focused on was understanding that as a husband, it's our desire to make sure that we are fulfilling the needs of the entire home together as a unit, not just as an individual, but as a unit. Meaning there are certain things that, like, Deshaun doesn't really like to be outside in the summer with the kids playing. So that responsibility.
I literally have stayed in the house. Like, how long?
I don't
even remember how many times I've gone outside. You should go outside. I went outside a couple. No, it was more than that, but I don't think you realize how much I like being home.
I think you average them outside like 1 day a week.
Yeah, probably. I don't think you realize how much
minutes.
I've liked being home during. Have you?
Well, that's because we always running and doing
No, but
stuff.
have you realized that I was really? Because in my head, I thought that you were the person that pretty much liked being home, and I realized you're not that person. But did you realize I was?
Yeah, I know you were like that, but
I didn't. I learned something new about me.
Being home and being like in the vicinity of the house are two very different things. So I'm the one that takes the kids out, rides their cars and bikes.
Wow, I think a little bit. I'm gonna get mad. I'm the artsy mom. Kids come to me, they want to do art, they want to dance. You know, I'm the artsy mom.
Like I said, I'm the one that takes them outside. I done got about 4 shades darker since the beginning of this summer. All of our kids were caramel before the summer happened, and we like midway through chocolate season right now. So literally we're spending, on average, I'll take them out, we'll spend an hour and a half outside. It'd be 90 some odd degrees. But that basically back to the topic at hand. Our responsibilities are as a unit. I'm the husband. I will always be the husband regardless. I'm the father. I will always be the father regardless. But my responsibilities to my kids will change consistently. Our responsibility to our kids will change consistently. Our responsibilities to each other will change consistently. I remember, if I can share a story, for a week like after we brought home our oldest, and thank you. Remember, yeah, we brought home our oldest, and literally my dad and my brother came down, and we went out. We were going shopping, went to Kohl's, and I get a phone call that Sean had to be taken to the hospital. And I'm like, all right, what's going on? We get to the hospital. Apparently, she had a bowel movement.
Oh my God.
Literally since we had the baby. So we get to the hospital, and I have a little bit of medical training. We're both pre-med majors.
I thought I was gonna die.
She was in there.
I was like, give me my will, let me rewrite everything.
Yeah, it was looking quite grim.
No, it really was bad.
And so what ends up happening, everybody's kind of out of the room.
Who was I pregnant with?
You had Leilani.
Oh yeah, this is before my when I really, really got healthy days. Go ahead.
This is
problems. Go ahead.
So I get there, and I'm in the room. It's just her and I. My dad and my brother, they leave, go back to the house, and then they heading out. And she starts talking to me, telling me what's going on and everything. And I'm like, all right. So in my head, I'm thinking,
do not tell the one part. But go ahead.
In my head, I'm thinking it's true. Long story short, I helped resolve the situation.
When you get to the part, you know the part I'm talking about.
But the nurse, in the middle of me resolving the situation, one of the nurses walk in and sees me helping.
So basically, I'm spread eagle. Is it spread eagle? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm spread eagle on this. What is it? What kind of table was it?
It's the
whatever the table is. Yeah, when you walk in and the waiting when they give you a room.
Emergency room.
Yeah, emergency room. Spread eagle on that thing. I don't even know how I got up on there. I feel like I'm in labor. It was worse than the daggone delivery. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? I'm like, yeah. I feel like I'm about to die. I'm like, bring my kid here one more time so I can give my kid a kiss. Because I literally thought I was about to die. I thought life was over. Okay. And I'm laying there, and you start massaging down there. But with the gloves.
With the gloves, I gloved up. I washed up, gloved
we
up.
was given another delivery.
And
it's happening.
Coached her through everything. Literally, like it. I felt like, I felt like if I don't get this done, it's possible that I might end up losing her.
I could have died. Couldn't I have died?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I was going to die.
I don't think they would let you die from that.
No, I think somebody could die from that.
It can, but I don't think they would let you die.
Yeah, it felt like death. Like
it was bad. But anyway.
And I done had some close calls. But that one right there, that would be number 2. That would be number 2 right there. That was like
metaphorically. And
this is when you cannot urinate, or number 2, like everything was shut down.
Yeah, she was
like that was like the worst feeling ever.
And so, back to the story. So the nurse walks in, and I'm taking care of helping her resolve the situation. And she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, it's all right. And she's like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So
I know she was happy. She's like, I ain't doing it.
Long story short,
I don't get paid for that. I know that's what she was thinking. She ain't say it, but I know that's what she thought.
Yeah, well,
I could tell.
Long story short, I got it resolved, and
it was a miniature child that came out. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
But it was like at that point, and I think she said, I forget the exact words that you used, but she was like, "Babe, I really, really know that you would do anything for me."
Oh yeah, you got like 100 cool points that day.
100 cool points.
100 cool points.
That lasted for about 2 hours, and then
only for a little bit, just for the time.
Yeah, when you
it's like a movie, you know, like it's a great movie, and then you're like, okay, it's great.
You know
it's
what?
I'm just playing.
Come to think of it, I might want to cash some of them points in.
Them points have been cashed in. You know how much stuff. Anyway, let's not go down the list. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was tough. And then we had some other, close call situations. But I think, when you choose whoever the person is and you make the decision to get married, having that flexibility and being able to understand that, the role that you think you're taking on is ever changing. You always have the title, but the role will always change. The responsibility will always change.
Yeah, that's about it. So there's many more questions I'm sure that we could answer about this particular topic. But on that note, I want you to do one thing. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you the next time. Wait a second. Just pause. Hold on. Don't worry, I'm taking something recording. You had to do it too, didn't you?
You snorted all the way back to the brain cells.
Sorry, go ahead.